Ugh, I hate final exams. It's bad enough that we have tests and projects at school. Now we have them at AWANA too?
Well, the faster we get this over with, the better. So, the greatest person to live on Earth will make someone great.
I don't know if they're famous, I guess.
Okay, that's good. Quick, Danny, who's the most famous person you know?
Abraham Lincoln!
Yeah, let's go with him. There's a lot we can talk about. Abraham was the 16th president of the United States. He freed slaves and helped end slavery in the United States. He kept the Union together and was described as honest, kind, and humble.
Wait, but didn't he not believe that black people should have the same rights as white people? Sure, he thought slavery was morally wrong, but he still thought black people should be treated differently. He wanted to free the slaves, then deport them back to Africa or Central America. Abe stated that given the hostility between the white people and the black people, separation would be beneficial to both groups. Basically, he said that black people don't deserve to stay in America. Plus, he only freed the slaves as a military measure to help get black slaves to join the army. Also, Lincoln was brutal to the Native Americans. He took their lands by force, massacred the majority of them, and took the rest as captives. He marched them through a desert, and the few who didn't die were left in concentration camps. And then those Native Americans died because they contracted the disease from the horrible living conditions.
Well, that probably isn't very convincing. Who else can we think of?
I don't know. I didn't pay attention to anything else in history class.
Oh, what about Christopher Columbus? He's famous.
Right! He's so famous that we get a day off from school because of him. Christopher Columbus was one of the most famous people of all time. He was the first explorer to sail westward. He discovered the Americas. He blazed a path to the beginning of the age of exploration, and he colonized the New World. We also recognize the day he landed in the Americas as a holiday.
Hold up. But what happened to all the Native Americans once he discovered North America?
Well, Christopher Columbus also murdered hundreds, if not thousands, of Native Americans, just so he could claim land for Spain. He also led others to do the same because they wanted to claim land for their countries. He also enslaved Native Americans till they died, tortured them, enforced horrific punishments, and accused Native Americans of being cannibals, even though he knew it wasn't true. All in all, Christopher Columbus might have been a great man, but he was also a terrible man.
Kinda makes you think that Christopher Columbus isn't the best reason to have a day off from school.
Yeah, but you know who we don't have a day off for? Mao Zedong.
I don't think that's the best idea.
Yeah, I learned all about Mao Zedong in Chinese school. He sounds like a pretty great person. Mao Zedong was seen as a very important person in China. For example, during the Second World War, he was seen as a hero as he helped the Kuomintang against the Japanese. Many people thought that he was a much nicer and more pleasant person than Chiang Kai-shek, the leader of the Kuomintang. However, at the end of the war, he won the Chinese Civil War and established the People's Republic of China. He made a non-democratic government that suppressed religion, other political parties, and culture. Millions were sent to re-education camps, where many starved to death. In 1958, Mao unleashed a campaign to fully industrialize China and make it a world power. Many trees were cut down and rice fields were demolished to make space for all of the steel factories. Not only did this fail to work as the steel produced was of bad quality, but it also resulted in the greatest loss of human life through starvation by economical and agricultural mismanagement. About 30 million people starved to death. Mao knew this was happening but was too stubborn and paranoid to change anything. All in all, even though Mao Zedong somewhat helped China, his actions caused a lot of harm and death.
I told you Mao Zedong wasn't a great idea! I told you!
Okay! Yeah. He definitely changed the world, that's for sure. But it'd be hard to argue that he was a great person.
We're seriously running out of ideas here. At this rate, anyone could be great.
Pikachu?
Pikachu. I mean, Pikachu couldn't have possibly done anything bad, right? Pikachu is known as one of the main characters in all seasons of the Pokemon franchise, and is companion to the immortal Ash Ketchum. Pikachu has been Ash's main Pokemon throughout the series, and has helped him fight Team Rocket and beat the evil plans of many evil organizations, such as Team Plasma and Team Flare. However, Pikachu's alter ego is also Batman. For all the good things he has done, there were a lot of bad things too. For instance, did you know that Pikachu is a cannibal? There are no normal animals inside the Pokemon world, so whenever they eat meat, they would have to eat another Pokemon. Pikachu is also known mass murderer of Pokemon. Just by simply jumping into the ocean, he would electrocute thousands of water Pokemon all at once. Pikachu also signed up for a gym membership and managed to lose some weight, but he still refuses to get stronger after 20 seasons of the show. He also has a case of claustrophobia, so he refuses to get into his Pokeball. Instead, he shoots bolts of electricity at people and sends them running far, far away.
Who would have thought that even Pikachu had flaws?
Well, no one's perfect.
You can say that again.
Well, even if no one is perfect, I can think of someone who comes pretty close.
Really?
Yeah, Patricia. She's in charge of Trek, which basically makes her a saint. Having to deal with all those kids every Friday night, she's basically a superhuman.
Patricia leads our Trek group on Friday nights. We have interesting discussions and activities, and we learn a lot about the Bible and God and how it applies to our lives. But
what?
But I also heard that she's super addicted to Korean dramas. Once she watched Korean drama for 2 weeks without sleeping. She fangirls shamelessly all over the cute male actors, and she gets so emotionally invested that when a character dies from a car crash or cancer, she cries for days.
Don't all the characters in Korean dramas end up dying from a car crash or cancer?
Yeah, it's a problem.
Well, looks like all those people weren't as great as we thought them to be.
Seriously, this is so disappointing. Isn't there one great person out there who isn't terrible?
Well, there's Jesus.
Oh, come on!
That's too easy. And plus, Jesus doesn't even count as a person. He's literally God.
Are you so sure about that? Because in John 1:14 it said, "The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us." Here the word means Jesus, and if you look at the beginning of the chapter,
Okay, we get it. But I still think that choosing Jesus is cheating, kind of. I mean, everyone knows Jesus is great.
really, what's so great about him?
Well, he hangs out in heaven with God, and I don't know, okay? He's great and stuff. There's not much to it.
I think people who actually lived in Jesus' time might disagree with you. Jesus was born in a barn by a teenage mother who claimed to be a virgin, to unremarkable parents who were turned away by every other innkeeper in town. When he became an adult, the person who baptized him wasn't an important religious official. He was a weird dude named John the Baptist who ate locusts and lived like a caveman. During his lifetime, Jesus did illegal things against the established government at the time. He worked on the Sabbath day, claimed God was his father, and many government officials, known as the Pharisees, extremely disliked him. Most importantly, he hung out with the losers of society, the people that everyone hated and looked down upon. He ate with thieves, prostitutes, hung around the sick and the poor, and even claimed to forgive sins, which, you might imagine, made the Pharisees furious. And in the end, Jesus was crucified like a common criminal.
Wow, it's pretty crazy to think that all that stuff happened in Jesus' lifetime.
Yeah, I thought he was just all like holy and stuff. And when we talked about him in church, he just sounded so great. But I can't believe he actually hung out with all the losers and outcasts of the world.
And was punished like a common criminal for disobeying authority.
Is this seriously the guy that we worship in church every week?
Why is that so hard to believe? Would you rather worship a God that sits high above us and is too great for us? Or would you rather worship a God that actually cares about us?
They always say that in church Jesus is all great and humble, but I thought being humble meant talking down about yourself. I guess that's not really what it means.
Yeah, if there's anything I've noticed, it's that Jesus lived to serve other people. He didn't live for himself, but he cared about the people who needed help the most. That's what being humble really means.
And that's what greatness really means too. So while it might be a little cliche to say that Jesus was the greatest man to live on earth, it's kind of cool that his definition of greatness is completely different from other people's definition of greatness.
He wasn't famous.
He didn't have lots of power.
He wasn't all that respected either, but he was and is still the greatest person to live on earth.
Maybe the world would be a little different if these great people actually were great in Jesus' way.
True, but there's nothing stopping us from following Jesus' example of greatness.
Yeah, we all want to be great in some way, but in order for us to be truly great, we have to make ourselves the least, just like Jesus did.
To put others first,
To be kind and loving to everyone.
To be willing to make sacrifices for other people,
just like Jesus did.
just like Jesus did.
Waking up knowing there's a reason. All my dreams come alive. Life is for living. With you, I've made my decision. You lift me up, fill my eyes with wonder. Forever young in your love, this freedom's untainted. With you